In the near future, climate change causes environmental collapse and resources become scarce. The elite get to live in secure and well-regulated areas known as the New World, while the lower classes are left to struggle in the wasteland called the Old World. Even those in the New World live under strict government control. Childbirth is heavily regulated, and couples who want to have kids must undergo a 7-day assessment to prove they're fit to be parents. One day, a young girl named Mia is swimming in the ocean when she hears her mother calling her from the shore. She freezes and in a blink her mother vanishes. As Mia frantically swims forward, she resurfaces much older, revealing that it was only a memory. Now an adult, Mia returns to her high-tech smart home, which monitors her health and warns her about environmental changes. She enters a glowing room that connects her to the virtual world created by her husband, Arian, who designs digital pets there. The couple talks about their plans for the day, then Mia heads to her greenhouse to tend her plants and gather ingredients for dinner. That night, Mia and Arian share their worries about the upcoming parental assessment. They try to distract themselves by getting intimate, but Mia's thoughts drift back to her memory of the sea. Later, while Arian sleeps, she sneaks back to her greenhouse for some peace of mind. The next morning, Virginia, the government assessor, arrives at their home. She'll be living with them for a week to evaluate whether they're suitable to raise a child. She warns them that the less they know about her criteria, the better, since she wants to see their true selves. She interviews them separately, asking about their relationship, their intimacy, and their childhoods. Mia explains that her mother and sister were sent to the Old World when she was a child, so her memories of them are faint. Virginia notes that her mother was a dissident and probes whether Mia shares her views, but Mia denies it. When asked why they want children, the couple says it's about contributing to society, finding fulfillment, and giving a child belonging. Mia adds that she finally feels that sense of belonging now, though she didn't have it as a child. Virginia tours their home, testing the child's bed and bizarrely complaining about loose springs when the mattress doesn't even have any. She's unimpressed by Arian's virtual workspace but takes a special interest in Mia's greenhouse, pointing out that the only thing Mia kept from her mother is a flower. She demands full access to the house AI and requests fresh samples of blood, urine, saliva, hair, and even intimate fluids, despite the couple already submitting them. During dinner, Virginia criticizes Mia's rustic meal made from greenhouse ingredients. She questions Arian about the scar on his body, and he explains that animal rights activists once attacked him. Ironically, they opposed his virtual pets even though his work was meant to protect the few real animals left. The activists bombed his lab, forcing him to jump from a window, and as punishment they were sent to the Old World. Mia bluntly says they deserved it, which Virginia twists back on her by asking if she thinks her mother deserved the same fate. Later that night, Arian warns Mia not to let Virginia get under her skin. That advice is quickly tested when Virginia watches them during an intimate moment, insisting that evaluating this part of their relationship is part of the test. Uncomfortable but desperate to pass, the couple reluctantly continues. The next morning they discover baby food packages have mysteriously arrived. Virginia ignores their questions and instead starts behaving like a toddler at the breakfast table, pounding her bowl, making a mess, and accusing Mia of raising her voice. Arian defuses the situation by turning feeding into a playful game, which gets Virginia to eat, though she still throws food at them. When Arian curses after food gets in his eye, Virginia gleefully repeats the bad word like a child. As Arian washes up, Mia helps him with eye drops, and they both agree they need to set firmer boundaries. When they return, the kitchen is trashed and Virginia is gone. They search the house and find chaos everywhere, eventually discovering her in Arian's virtual office blasting awful noise while she dances wildly. Arian finally shouts loud enough to cut through the sound, but Virginia only smirks and says, "This test is over." That evening, another package arrives, a toy house meant for a child. Virginia orders them to build it before morning. The instructions are confusing and the pieces don't fit well. The couple spends the night struggling, finally assembling it, though one piece remains. The manual says all pieces must be used for safety. Panicked, Mia sneaks out to the beach and throws the leftover piece into the ocean. The next morning, Virginia inspects the house and declares it well done. Then, shockingly, she announces it will be her new bedroom. Later, Virginia tells Arian a disturbing story about her childhood dog. When the government ordered animals to be culled, she refused to let her beloved pet die with a stranger, so she killed him herself. Arian, moved, shows her one of his virtual creations, a monkey, and she marvels at how lifelike it feels. But her mood shifts suddenly, she's bored and demands a new game. By the time Mia arrives, she finds Arian and Virginia in the simulation, playfully pretending to be wild animals, something Arian always claimed his injured back wouldn't allow. Mia is unsettled. The next day the three go to the beach where they play hide and seek. Mia grows frustrated because Virginia and Arian keep teaming up and ignoring her. She's even more unnerved when Virginia starts calling Arian daddy. When Mia tries to join them in building a sandcastle, Virginia wanders off to build one on her own. Arian reassures Mia she isn't like her mother, but the tension grows when Virginia suddenly disappears, leaving her shoes in the surf. A wave tosses Virginia back to shore, and while Mia rushes to help her, Virginia recoils coldly. Mia snaps, wondering aloud if maybe she should have let her drown. Virginia storms off, and Arian scolds Mia for losing her composure. On the way home, Virginia insists Arian carry her, but when his back gives out in the rain, Mia offers instead. Virginia refuses, saying she only wants daddy. Once home, she won't go inside until Mia convinces her with gentle words. Later, Mia gives Virginia a bath, and for the first time they share a tender moment, with bubbles and hair brushing reminding Mia of her own childhood. She even kisses Virginia's head, feeling a flicker of connection. But soon, another challenge arrives. A letter announcing that they'll be hosting a formal dinner party that night. Virginia confirms it's another test. The couple scrambles to prepare an elegant meal and put on their best clothes. When the guests arrive, Virginia bursts from the toy house, role-playing as a child. During dinner, Walter, one of the guests, praises Mia's brilliance as a former student, irritating his wife Evie. Mia privately confesses to Arian that Walter had taken advantage of her years ago when she was too young to understand. She's shaking, but Arian comforts her, reminding her that the guests are deliberately chosen to provoke them. Back at the table, Mia has to help Virginia eat without choking. Then another guest arrives, Arian's estranged mother, who clearly isn't happy to be there. While Virginia misbehaves, the adults argue over whether it's ethical to have children when resources are scarce. Some claim that across the border, people are surviving, healing, and reproducing, so maybe rebuilding the old world isn't impossible. As the debate escalates, Virginia runs around the room, finally plopping herself down at the table next to the guests. Mia tries to move her, but Virginia slaps her across the face. Mia takes a deep breath, insisting she isn't mad, and that finally gets Virginia to settle down and behave. The group tries to enjoy a toast, but the mood is ruined when Arian's mother reveals that he once tried to have a child with another partner, but the government denied them. Mia never knew about this, so she rushes to the kitchen for air. Arian follows her, explaining that he kept it secret because he didn't want to upset her. He begs her to leave the conversation for later, and they head back to the table. Evie, Walter's wife, takes the opportunity to speak badly about Mia's mother and the people of the old world. She brags that she's 153 years old and remembers what life was like before the collapse. Virginia sits in her lap, asking for details, and Evie describes how brutal it was when the apocalypse hit. She insists dividing society into the new and old worlds was necessary for survival, and she warns that young people will ruin it all by having more children. Suddenly Evie yells in disgust and shoves Virginia off her lap because the girl peed on her. Mia is horrified to see Virginia hurt, and when Evie cruelly says that bad mothering runs in her family, Mia slaps her across the face. After the guests leave, Mia tucks Virginia into bed. She smiles when the girl thanks her for standing up for her, until Virginia shocks her with a kiss on the lips. Mia instantly pulls away shaken. That night, she argues with Arian about hiding the truth regarding his past attempt to have children. Arian explains he was afraid she'd think he wasn't good enough. They both apologize, admitting how hard the process is, and Arian reassures her it's almost over. What they don't realize is that Virginia overhears everything. Later that night, Virginia sneaks into their bedroom after a bad dream. Arian tells her to go back to bed, but Mia insists on letting her stay with them. The next day, Mia gets a call from the hospital. Her sister has suffered an embolism and is in intensive care. Mia wants to visit, but Arian argues that leaving now will ruin their assessment. Virginia confirms she's allowed to go, but warns that leaving would terminate the process. Mia pleads that family emergencies should be an exception and points out that showing compassion is a good example for a child. Virginia reluctantly agrees, but Mia must be back before 6 in the morning. That night Arian tries to sleep alone, but Virginia climbs on top of him, claiming she had another bad dream. She quickly turns things physical, insisting it's part of the assessment and that it will stay between them. Arian resists, but Virginia slaps him and forces him to give in. By the time Mia returns, she finds them together in bed and wedges herself between them without a word. The next morning Mia reveals there was a mix-up at the hospital. Her sister wasn't sick after all. Arian immediately grows suspicious of Virginia. The girl tries to smooth things over by calling Mia mommy, making her smile. Later Mia asks Arian to watch Virginia while she goes for a swim. While Arian works, Virginia pouts and demands attention. When she doesn't get it, she storms outside, calls for Mia, and when there's no answer, decides on revenge. She sneaks into the greenhouse and starts tearing everything apart, ripping wires and smashing pipes until sparks and gas combine to start a fire. As the flames spread, Virginia panics, calling for her parents, but the smoke makes her weak and debris blocks the exit. Mia sees the smoke from a distance and races back, while the house AI alerts Arian about the emergency. Traumatized by memories of the bombing, Arian freezes outside, too afraid of the fire to go in. Mia slams the door but can't get through, so she hurls a rock to break a hole and crawls inside. She finds Virginia unconscious, drags her to the opening and pushes her out to safety. Together, they watch helplessly as the greenhouse burns down, Mia's beloved project reduced to ashes. That night Virginia refuses to eat and storms away. Mia follows her to the beach and confronts her for destroying everything, but Virginia ignores her and walks away. The next morning Virginia delivers the devastating news. The government has rejected their application. They will not be allowed to have a child. Arian loses it, screaming that he cheated for nothing, which makes Mia burst out laughing in disbelief. Virginia doesn't react to either of them. She just leaves. The couple eats lunch in silence, broken and defeated. Later, while cleaning, Mia discovers the missing toy piece Virginia had hidden, the same piece she used to sabotage everything. Enraged, Mia smashes the toy house with a shovel, breaking down in tears until Arian holds her and tries to calm her. He then takes her to the virtual reality room and surprises her with a digital baby girl. For a moment, Mia beams as she holds the child, but she quickly drops it. The baby smells like nothing, she says, which ruins the illusion. Arian pleads that they can still be happy together, but Mia tells him she can't do this anymore and walks out. Sometime later, Mia finds Virginia living in a small, shabby apartment. Virginia threatens to call the police, but Mia refuses to leave without answers. She demands to know why they failed. After a heated argument, Virginia breaks down and admits the truth. No one has passed the assessment in 6 years. The government ordered all applications to be denied, but the tests continue to give people false hope. Assessors are promised children of their own if they endure the work long enough, but most quit within a week. Virginia herself once had a daughter who died, and she collapses under the weight of her grief, confessing that she has endured humiliation and cruelty just to keep going. Mia offers her sympathy and asks if it's true that life is returning to the old world. Soon after, Virginia takes on another couple for assessment, but she can't handle it anymore. She steps out onto the balcony and ends her life. Back at home, Arian retreats into his virtual reality, comforting himself with a digital version of Mia and the daughter they never had. Meanwhile, Mia reaches the border, puts on a hazmat suit and crosses into the old world. The weather is harsh and unforgiving, but she removes her mask anyway, determined to reconnect with the natural world and start again on her own terms. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can catch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.